Hello and welcome to today's tutorial. My name is Charity of Venture Crushes, and today we are making a beanie. Alright, so the beanie that we're making is the beanie with the bunny ears. So the bunny ears beanie, that's what we're making. Alright, so a tutorial for the ears will be available separately. For this one, we'll be just focusing on the beanie itself, alright, the length and all. Alright, so I'll be using neutral and using pink, alright, from Aliens by Charity Double Knit, which is the yarn that I mostly and always use. Alright, so the recommended hook size is 4mm and the US is F5, alright, and the UK is 8. However, I'll be using a 3mm hook. Alright, so I'll be making a striped beanie, which means it will have stripe of pink and a stripe of neutral. I'll be alternating them. Alright, so you're also going to need a 3mm hook like I have mentioned, and you're going to need a tape measure and also a scissor or a cutter. Alright, so that's what we will be making today. Alright, so there is already a tutorial for the ears, and now this is the tutorial for the beanie. And also I'll make a tutorial that has both the beanie and the bunny ears. Alright, so let's get into it. So to begin our beanie, we're going to make a magic ring. Alright, to make a magic ring, you cross the yarn like so. Alright, you just cross it like so. Alright, after crossing it, you insert your hook and grab the other side. That's it. You can increase or decrease the the round or the circle depending on how comfortable you are. Alright, so you're going to chain 2 or 3 depending on if you are a chain 3 person or a chain 2 person. From there, you're going to go ahead and make 12 double crochets. Alright, the double crochet you yarn over into the magic ring, you grab, go out, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Alright, so in this the chain 2 or the chain 3, depending on what we started with, it counts as a stitch. So right now I have 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Alright, just to check: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, then you pull the tail. Alright, so when you are at your 12 double crochets, alright, remember I'm doing a striped beanie. Alright, so to slip stitch, you're just going to insert into your chain 2 or chain 3, and then you're going to grab. Alright, and then you're going to leave it like that. Okay, since you are making a striped beanie. Alright, so after that means you have to introduce your second color. Alright, so to introduce your second color, in my case it's pink since I started with neutral. Right, so you're going to grab your yarn the way you are comfortable doing. Alright, and then you are going to introduce it. So to introduce it, I'm closing the slip stitch with it. All right, and then I'm going to chain my 2. All right, if you're a chain 3 person, you're going to go ahead and chain 3. All right, so I'm just going to leave the tails as they are with the other yarn that I started with. All right, so what you're going to do next, you're going to work your increases. So I'm going to grab this tail, all right, because I did not make a knot as you saw. So I'm going to grab the tail, all right, yarn over into the very same chain 2 of the previous row. All right, I'm going to make a double crochet, which makes it 2 stitches. All right, so this is 2 double crochets. I've made my first increase. So as this is a row of increases, you're going to place 2 double crochets on each and every stitch. That's to make an increase. So since I did not make a knot at the beginning, as you can see, I'm carrying along my pink strand, all right, with this tail, so that I weave it in as I go. All right, so you're going to go ahead and place 2 double crochets on each and every stitch. All right, so that at the end of this you'll be having 24 double crochets instead of 12. All right, so as you can see, my tail is concealed, so I'm going to go ahead and work the rest of the double crochets to complete 24. All right, sorry. So this is 22, 23 and 24. All right, so this is 24. All right, so I'm going to work a slip stitch. So since I'm working with 2 colors and I'm working 1 row of each, right, I'm going to go ahead and make an incomplete slip stitch, which is I insert, grab, and just leave it there without yarning over. To yarn over, I'll switch this yarn that I'm working with to the other side and grab with my finger. All right, and then I'm going to pass the other color, which is neutral, and to go ahead and complete my slip stitch. All right, that is by yarning over and pull. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and chain 2 into the very same chain 2 space. I'm going to insert, I'm going to insert a double crochet. All right, a double crochet. That's my first increase. So into my first double crochet after the chain 2 on the previous row, I'm going to yarn over and insert 2 double crochets. That's my second. I'm going to insert 1 single crochet. All right, because we want it to balance, so that means the next is 2 double crochets on the second stitch. All right, on the next stitch after. So the pattern we are following right now, it's 2 double crochets on 1 stitch, which is an increase, and 1 double crochet on 1 stitch. All right, which is 2 1 2 1 2 1, all the way until you reach the end. All right, so I started with 2 double crochets, chain 2 being a stitch, and then I did 1 double crochet, then 2 double crochets in 1 stitch. Now I have 1 double crochet on a stitch. So the next stitch, it means I'm placing 2 double crochets in that stitch because I'm working an increase. The next one is 1 double crochet. The following one is 2 double crochets. All right, because we want it to grow bigger but flat. All right, because otherwise if I were to put 2 double crochets all the way, it will close up very fast. All right, so you're going to go ahead and work this, and at the end of this round you should be having 36 stitches. All right, the first round is 12, the second is 24, the third one is 36. All right, which is exactly what you are working. So go ahead and do that, and we will meet at the point of the slip stitch, because we will be changing colors. All right, so I have my 36, sorry, I have my 36 double crochets. I'm going to do an incomplete slip stitch, that is, go into the chain, yarn over, and leave it as is. Switch the color, grab my second color, and complete the slip stitch width. All right, and then I'll just pull this one right under. Going to go ahead and chain 2. All right, yarn over into the very same spot of the chain, chain 2. I'm going to do a double crochet. Remember how you begin your rows. All right, from there, because you're working another increase, remember the previous stitch, the previous round, we did 1 double crochet before we could work an increase. So this one, because we are increase going up, this was 1. Now we are working 2 single double crochets, that is 1 double crochet on each stitch for the next 2 stitches. All right, and then for this to be easier, at every point of an increase it creates a V. All right, so you are going to start increasing. Whenever you see a V, you start your increase. That is, even if you are not counting your stitches as you go, at any point of a V, which is any point of an increase, you work an increase. So the first one was 1, the second one is 2, and then you make your increase. So I've already created a V. That means coming back, I'm going to have 3 stitches before I could work an increase. All right, this is just how simple and easy this is. All right, so after an increase, go ahead and make your first double crochet, your second double crochet. I've come to the point of a V, which is a point of an increase. That means I'm going to increase, and I'm going to make 2 double crochets into 1 stitch. That's simple. Yarn over, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet. I'm at a point of an increase. I'm going to make a double crochet and another double crochet into the same stitch, working an increase. All right, so you're going to do that all the way until you reach this point, and at the end of this round you should be having 48 stitches. All right, so go ahead, 1 and 2, then an increase. It is just that simple. So you're going to do that, and we will meet at the end, which is at the point of the slip stitch. All right, so I've come to the end of my 1, 2, 3, 4th row. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make an incomplete slip stitch. By now I suppose you know what I mean. Go ahead and complete your slip stitch. So this is how your yarns will be alternating on the other side. All right, so for the next round we're going to chain 2. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is our 5th round. On our 5th round, we are going to, into the very same chain 2 of the previous row, place a double crochet, and then go ahead and make your double crochets 1, 2, and 3. Remember, previously you were making 2 before you could make an increase. Now you are making 3 and then make an increase. And always remember where your V stitches are, which is 2 double crochets and 1 stitch. Thereafter, you're going to make 2 double crochets in 1 stitch. That's an increase. Go ahead, 1, 2, 3. All right, then an increase, 2 double crochets in one stitch, then 2. All right, so for this round, which is round 5, we are working 3 1 1 3 1 1 all the way until you get to the point of the slip stitch. So at the end of this round, you should be having 60 double crochets. All right, so go ahead and work that, and we shall meet at the end of the round. Okay, I've come to the end of my 5th row. All right, I already did my slip stitch and switched my colors. All right, so you're going to chain 1 2, all right, into the same spot. You're going to place a double crochet. All right, that's your first increase. The next, you're going to place 1 double crochet into the next coming 4 stitches. All right, 3, then 4. These are the 4 stitches before an increase. All right, so before an increase, 4 stitches, then you make your increase. All right, self-explanatory, easy to follow. All right, then go ahead and make your 4 double crochets, 1 on each and every stitch. That's my 2 there, my 3rd, and my 4th. All right, and then an increase. All right, so you're going to go ahead and follow this pattern all the way until you complete the round, and at the end of this round you should be having 72 stitches. All right, all right, that's just simple. So you're going to work this until we reach this point. All right, I've come to the end of my 6th round, and I'm going to do a length check. So currently our circle is 5 inches. All right, with my yarn and my hook size, it could be different for you. All right, so I'm working into achieving 5.5 to 6 inches. All right, because this is a toddler head. All right, it's a toddler beanie rather. All right, so aiming at achieving 5.5 to 6 inches. All right, so if you are working a toddler beanie or a toddler head, you're going to work the same length of 5.5 inches or 6 inches. 6 inches is just to leave room enough, all right, so that if maybe they have a hairstyle underneath, because I'm working this for a girl since pink. All right, and if it's for a boy, normally boy heads are bigger, so 6 would be enough. All right, okay, but for a girl it could be 5.5 or 6 inches. Right, so if it's an adult head, you're going to work 6.5 to 7 inches. All right, so I'm going to work increasing my rows like that until I reach my 5.5 or 6 inches depending. All right, so I think I'm going to make it a 6 inches. All right, so right now I'm on 5. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make my increases. So since this is my sixth round and I have 72 double crochets, I'm going to yarn over. All right, so, and then I'm going to create a slip stitch. That's my incomplete slip stitch, and then go ahead and complete my slip stitch with the other color. I'm going to chain 2 into the chain 2 of the previous row. I'm going to work a double crochet. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and make my double crochets until I reach the point of an increase. 1 2 3 4, 5. All right, the previous row it was 4 before an increase. This round is 5, 1, 5, 1. So 5 double crochets before an increase. All right, 1, when I say 1, I mean the point where I put 2 double crochets into 1 stitch. All right, so I'm going to make my increase. All right, so this is my round 7, and as you would see, the double crochets here are 5, 6, 7 when I have worked an increase. So this is what I'm saying. You're going to go ahead after an increase. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I already know, because this is the 7th round, it means the last stitch, it is where my 6 and 7 will be. All right, I'm just trying to teach you many ways of understanding this and counting this without really overthinking it. All right, so before an increase it's 5 stitches, and to an increase is 2 stitches, making it 7, and we're on round 7. All right, so the moment you start making your increase is going up, that's when the rounds make sense. All right, so you're going to go ahead and work your increase here on your 7th row, and at the end of this you'll be having 84 stitches. That means we are increasing with 12 stitches on each and every round. All right, so I'm going to work this and come back to you for the length check. All right, so this is the 7th row. So I've come to the end of my 7th round, okay, which means I have 84 double crochets. All right, so when taking my measurements, laying my circle really flat, it's almost 6 inches, which is just fine by me. All right, so this is a girl heart. I'm going to end here, and there is nothing wrong making it bigger. All right, because you know your client better. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make another row, which is my 8th row. All right, so my 8th row I'm working without increases. All right, which means I'm going to place 1 double crochet on each and every stitch. All right, I've already switched my color. I'm going to chain 2 into the next stitch, not the double crochet, the chain stitch. All right, because now we're making no increases. All right, I'm going to go ahead and make a double crochet. Go ahead into the next, a double crochet, into the next, a double crochet. So for you, depending on the size you're working, the number of rows is not important because of the different hook sizes, the tension, and the yarn sizes that we use. All right, so for me, this is a toddler. I'm going to make it 6 inches, which is why I'm using the row count and the measuring tape hand in hand, because I know we are working different sizes with different hook sizes and different yarn size and quality. All right, for me, this is where I've ended. 6 inches is good enough with 7 rows for me. All right, and if it's an adult head, you may be having more rows depending on the size of the hook, the yarn, and the tension you're applying. All right, but for the adult head, it's 6.5 inches to 7 inches of the base. All right, which is the crown of the head. All right, so thereafter you'll be working this row that I'm working right now, which is a row of no increase. So why a row of no increase? Because we are curving the head. We're actually forming a head now. It's no longer just flat, it should have a curve shape. All right, So this is exactly what I am going to do. So you're going to work your double crochets all the way until you reach the end, and you switch work your colors the way you would want to switch them, right? Sorry. So that means at the end of this round, for me, I'll still have 84 stitches, right? So go ahead and do yours, and I'll meet you right after. I've come to the end of my 8th round, all right? For me, for the measurement I'm working, remember, and these are my 84 stitches, all right? So as you can see, our flat shape is no longer flat because we are no longer increasing, we are rather maintaining this. So this means we made an increase, all right? So this is how our head will look, okay? Inside out, the correct side outside, all right? This is how it's going to look, all right? So from this round, this is exactly what you're going to do. You're going to work single crochet, one double crochet in each and every stitch, all right? So I forgot to switch my colors here, all right? So I'm going to do just that. An incomplete slip stitch, all right? So from here henceforth, you're going to work a double crochet on each and every stitch until you reach 7 inches. So you're going to work in rounds until you reach 7 inches. So 7 inches is the standard length, all right, for both adults and toddlers, all right? So that's exactly what you're going to do, all right? Alternating your colors as you would until you reach your 7 inches, and this is how you're going to measure your 7 inches, all right? You're going to make sure your head is is symmetrical, all right, like that. Oh, sorry, my chair makes some funny noises. Sorry about that. When I move, it makes some funny noises. It's not what you think, it's just the chair, right? So right now, my head is on 3.5 inches, all right, as you can see, folded into 2. So this is just basically the crown of the head, because it's up to here, all right? So I'm going to work my 7 inches, so it's gonna have to be up to here to be good enough for my client's head, all right? Adult or toddler, unless it's a baby, all right? When it's a baby, the story will be different. That's a tutorial for another day, but for now it's I'm giving measurements for a toddler and an adult, all right? It's gonna be here, all right? And this beanie will not have a brim. It just ends it ends on the forehead, just above the eyebrows, all right? So I'm going to work until I reach my 7 inches, of which now I'm almost halfway through, all right? So I'm going to do that off camera, definitely, and come back to do the length check with you and see what's next, all right? So you're going to do the same, work your inches, and we will meet at the end. All right, so I've come to the end of my rows, all right, my rounds, in the length that I would prefer them to be. All right, so this is how the beanie looks like right now. So I'm going to take measurements. So for me to take accurate measurements, I'll fold the head or the beanie like this, all right, and I'm going to fold it again, all right, like this. So when it's like this, it becomes easier to measure and to measure correctly, all right. So my aim was 7 inches, all right, and that's exactly that, all right, 7 inches. So that's good enough, and I am going to weave in this, all right. So to weave in, you can either use your hook or your needle, crochet needle or darning needle, however you call it, right. So just to conceal this and have a neater look, all right. Okay, and I'll go back, all right, to conceal it even more. All right, so since this tail is closer to this one now, I'm going to just tie a knot, a double knot, and cut the excess yarn. Alright, so currently this is how our beanie looks like. It looks really nice and very neat. So it's up to you where you put the seam, alright. The seam can either be on the side or at the back, alright. Here are the ears, and there's already a tutorial on them. So to learn how to make them, kindly visit the tutorial, because I realized this would be longer if I would put the tutorial together with the one of the beanie. So right, you can just go there to refer. Direct the seam where you want it. It's either you want it on the side like I just did here, and definitely this part will be underneath, all right, or you may put it just behind like this, sorry, like this. Now the seam is there, and then the side will be as clean as this, but for me I prefer putting it on the side, so the only part of the seam that will be exposed will either be somewhere here at the top or somewhere at the bottom, right? So I'll fold it so that the seam can be on the side, and the seam will only appear from here going up. And when I install my ear, I'll install it this way so that this side will be the good side and this side will be the bad side, all right? So I'm going to fold my beanie into half, right, and grab my ears. So the ears, remember, it's 6 stitches at the end. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 rows from the center, right, from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to place a stitch marker there, all right? So I'm going to remove the stitch marker from the ears because I'm not using them anymore, right? And 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to place the stitch marker, all right? And 1, 2, 3, 4, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to place a stitch marker right there. So now that I've placed my stitch markers, it's going to be easy for me to install my ears, all right? Just like that. So I'll place them symmetrically here, you see, just like this, and the other one will be right here, and I'm going to stitch them down using a darning needle, all right? So to install the ears, all right, on either side there is no problem. You'll put any other color of the ear, all right, and you're going to insert into your darning needle, all right, or your crochet needle, however you call it. So since I have 6 double crochets or 6 decreases here, so it means I have 6 stitches, and it is folded into half, all right, so which means I have 1 2 3 on the side and 1 2 3 on the other side. So where I have placed my stitch marker, it is exactly where I'm going to start my first stitch, all right. Remember, 1 2 3 4, right at the end of the 4th line, all right, exactly where I put my stitch marker, all right. So where the tail is, it's practically my middle. So I'm going to go ahead and insert the needle, and I can now safely remove the stitch marker, all right. And I'll go through from the upper side, all right, the upper side. Remember, the ear is double, right? So I'm taking from the lower side or the bottom side and the upper side. So I'm going to grab on the upper side and both on the lower side of the ear, and right under the stitch here on the beanie, I'll pass my needle, all right, and do again the same way as just you would stitch anything, in and out, under and above, but make sure you don't grab both sides of the beanie. Sorry, you grab on one side, right? I have inserted my hand underneath so that I would be careful doing this, all right, so that I don't grab from the other side of the beanie. So this is exactly what you're going to do, whichever stitch you choose to do, because the color that I'm using right now, it matches correctly since this is striped, right? So the stitching will be somehow invisible just because I'm using the same color yarn, right? And you can do it as many times as you wish, just to secure it, all right? So I'm going back and forth. So as you can see, I'm going back to the point where I started, just so that I can make sure that it's strong and secure enough, all right? So I'm going underneath because now I'm going to create a knot. This is how it looks on the other side, and this is how I create a knot. I'll wrap it around, the yarn around, and pull. I have created a knot. I can choose to do that again just for more security, all right? Oh, sorry about that. My tail is a bit short, so I'm going to just tie a manual knot, right? Then cut my yarn. Right? So this is how the ear is. This side well installed and secure. This side neatly installed and secure. So this is how it looks right now. you're going to go ahead and repeat the same thing on the other side. All right. Remember, you grab your needle. All right. And since I have 3 stitches here, that means where the yarn is the middle stitch, the side. And exactly where I placed my stitch marker, that's exactly where I'm going to start stitching. All right. Just to secure and connect, I'll remove the stitch marker. All right. So go ahead and connect this, and I'll come back to show you how it looks. I have secured the other ear, and I'm going to cut the excess yarn. Right. So I have to deal with this tail. Right, the one that we started the beanie with. So I'm going to secure it further and cut the excess yarn. And voila, you are done. This is how the beanie looks like. All right. Sorry about that noise. Alright, this is how our beanie looks like. It's very pretty and really nice. Alright, so at this point you are done. Congratulations and thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye.